Well, good morning. It is great to see everybody. My name is Andrew King. I am a professor of Old Testament at Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. This is my friend Josh Philpott. He is a professor of Old Testament at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. And both Josh and I had the great privilege of studying here in Louisville at Southern Seminary. And I know that my time at Southern was formative for me in countless ways. I learned what it looked like to treasure our triune God, to hold fast to his word, and all of these things through classes and through the community and all the rest. But one of the most formative aspects of my time at Southern Seminary was the opportunity to pursue doctoral studies under the supervision of Dr. Duane Garrett, who is a member of this church. As a young doctoral student, Duane invested in me in countless ways. I took many classes with Duane, and let's say he doesn't feel bound by niceties when critiquing student papers. In fact, I'm convinced that Duane has the spiritual gift of discernment because he was always able to discern everything wrong with my papers. Incredible. But as a patient and skilled mentor, he was always able to take the time to tell me exactly how to make my work better and how to make it ultimately useful for others and for the church. Duane also gave me opportunities over the course of my studies to assist in his classes, to teach in his classes. He even invited me as a young doctoral student to offer feedback on his own writings and publications, which was just invaluable experience for me, just watching a master at work. And in all these ways, Duane encouraged me to think well. But beyond simply seeing a brilliant mind at work, studying with Duane, I was able to see a pastor's heart. Duane is a man who loves God. He loves the Bible. He loves the church. He loves his family. And he loves students. And seeing these things modeled in the academic ministry of my beloved mentor really set an example for what I hope would characterize my own life and service. Duane's investment has shaped me personally in countless ways. But the reach of his ministry is far more extensive than just me.
As Andrew said, my name is Josh Philpott, and like Andrew, I have been the beneficiary of Duane Garrett's teaching at Southern for many years. I had him on my first day of seminary in 2006 through the MDiv, took several classes from him, and then eventually he became my doctoral supervisor in Old Testament, just as with Andrew here. At student orientation in 2006, I remember going to seminary, my wife and I moving there, going to seminary for the first time. You're excited. You have the student orientation moment. Everyone, all the students, 200 or so, maybe 300, sitting in one room. And as part of the orientation, several professors came up on stage and introduced themselves, said what they're about and what they teach. And I had registered for this class, Hebrew 1, with Dr. Garrett. But I had never seen him before. I'd recognized some of the other professors, but I did not know him yet, and I kind of wanted to get a good first impression, right? Don't we all desire that? So he came up on stage, and I can still remember, and I'm grateful to the Lord that I can remember exactly what he said when he came up to the stage for the first time. And it goes a little bit like this, and maybe you can indulge me and follow along with exactly what he said. He said, "Today, we shall learn how easy it is to learn Hebrew." Everyone say zakein. So everybody say with me, zakein. And he said, this is the Hebrew word for old man, and it's easy to remember because an old man walks with zakein. And he said, repeat after me, makom, makom. This word means place, and you can remember this by thinking, where is the place where I put makom? The point, he said, is that Hebrew is fun. I can still remember that to this day, 2006. I want to speak briefly about Dr. Garrett's contribution to the academy and to the church. First, as Andrew has mentioned, as teacher and professor. Dr. Garrett has served on several faculties, not only here in the United States, but also in South Korea. He's been a professor at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary, Bethel Seminary, Canadian Southern Baptist Seminary, Mid-America Baptist Seminary, Korea Baptist Seminary, and of course here at Southern Seminary since 2004. What that list demonstrates, I think, is that Dr. Garrett has been a tremendous influence on the next generation of pastors and other Bible teachers and scholars. You know, one thing about being a linguist at a seminary, as Dr. Garrett is teaching Hebrew language and grammar and exegesis, even writing a textbook, is the influence it has, the enduring influence it has on students as they leave seminary, even if those students forget the content. Dr. Garrett has instructed many hundreds and perhaps thousands of students in Hebrew and in Old Testament who become pastors and teachers of the Old Testament. And he does all of this by upholding the authority of the Scriptures in a guild like Old Testament that often diminishes that authority. So I've been a beneficiary of that, of his teaching, just as Andrew has here from the first day of seminary even to this day. Secondly, as an author, it's fair to say that Dr. Garrett has been an established Old Testament scholar and commentator for nearly 4 decades. Some of you are likely aware of his commentaries on many books of the Bible, including Exodus more recently, but also the Song of Solomon, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Hosea, Joel, and Amos, and of course many other articles and publications. So he has a publishing record that spans almost 4 decades, and that means that his name is recognizable and trusted among those engaging in biblical studies. I'm going to Southwestern Seminary this fall to teach, but I've been at a church in Houston for the last 9 years, and it was impactful for me that when I got there and I meet the staff, that many of the pastors at this church had Dr. Garrett's commentaries on their shelves, which shows the enduring and lasting impact that he has had in this field. And one area that many students of Southern, and perhaps you as well, are not aware is Dr. Garrett's pastoral background. He has been a pastor, I believe, on 3 occasions, both home and abroad. And so we should thank Dr. Garrett for his work, not only in the seminary, but also in the church, and building up the church and upholding the authority and enduring authority of the Scriptures. So at this point, we would like to ask Dr. Garrett to come up on stage as Andrew continues.
All right, and if you don't know Duane loves attention. All right, so make sure to watch him carefully as he walks up here, because he would just be so blessed by that. So in 2015, we began conspiring behind Duane's back, thinking of a way to recognize his invaluable contribution for the church. So Josh and I and one of Duane's former MDiv students, Dr. Rusty Osborne, who was unable to join us this morning, we began assembling a team of 16 scholars comprised of Duane's colleagues and friends, former students, and evangelical Old Testament scholars more broadly, to come together to produce a book to honor Duane. And as Duane's ministry, his writing ministry is so often done, these scholars wrestle with tough issues in the Old Testament, and they model examples of faithful ways to navigate hard things with a high view of God. So Duane, it is in recognition of your lifetime of faithful academic ministry that it is our joy to present to you this morning The Law, the Prophets, and the Writings, Studies in Evangelical Old Testament Hermeneutics in honor of Duane A. Garrett. Grateful for you, Duane. So there will be a reception There will be a reception to follow after the second service in the fellowship hall, and we would love to see you all there. So please make a point to postpone lunch just a moment to come and congratulate Duane. This is a significant event, and we want you to celebrate with us. So, Pastor Chip.
This event is so significant that I wore a tie, Duane. That's how important it was. No, we're really. I can't say enough of what Duane means to me personally as mentor our church, and just to have a scholar like him that you can call and just ask questions for. There's many times I just will text him a question and say, "What do you think about this? I'm writing a sermon," and he'll always get back with me with his thoughts. And so we just really appreciate Dr. King, Dr. Philpott being here, and they gave me a copy, so you need to autograph that, okay, for me as we go out. I'm going to ask if they will.